What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Now it's winner takes all as AEW World Champion CM Punk battles AEW Interim World Champion Jon Moxley in a title unification match. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Dynamite, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including an AEW backstage fight as a star is suspended, AEW sends a warning to WWE, Jon Moxley roasts Vince McMahon on Raw and SmackDown, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and our non-wrestling channel, Incredible. Now, as always, we won't recap the matches, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, keeping it real with Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks didn't hold back when it came to his former friend Powerhouse Hobbs. It wasn't the promo of the night, but it came from the heart, with Starks discussing how Hobbs called him every day after Ricky broke his neck. Starks' insight that some people like to see you do good, but they don't like to see you do better, epitomized how he feels Hobbs treated him, adding a depth that their feud lacked up until now. Starks furthered the story of Hobbs' betrayal by telling the fans how he helped get Hobbs into the spotlight, and this is how he paid him. Without belaboring his point, Starks added what really made things personal: Hobbs targeting Starks' previously injured neck. Starks ended the promo by calling Hobbs a snake and told him, "Where we come from, we cut the heads off a snake." Number 2, gun family drama. A father versus son is a rare but time-tested trope in wrestling, and one that may get Austin and Colton Gunn into the spotlight. The Gunn Club has had lots of TV time but never seemed to click. While Billy Gunn still looks amazing and is over, his sons have been in his shadow, and this program with manager Stockley Hathaway recruiting Papa Gunn's sons away could be money. Last night's match was solid and it gave fans a chance to see a different side of Billy and Colton. In Billy's case, he was placed into the awkward situation of having to wrestle his son, while fans got to see Colton as more than Billy Gunn's son. Number 3, Magic Max Caster. Max Caster and Anthony Bowens were on hand to support Billy Gunn, which meant fans were treated to another rap by Max Caster. Caster torched Billy's son, suggesting Billy should have used a condom, another hilarious rap that only added to Dynamite. Number 4, Christian Cage cold as ice. Christian Cage cut a harrowing heel promo that he was cold and methodical as he managed to check all the boxes, insulting the fans in Cleveland, dismissing Jungle Boy's talents, and accepting his former protege's challenge. Best part of the promo was that Cage never raised his voice, which only made his words seem cold and calculating. Cage dismissed Jungle Boy's attempts to injure him, telling him he'd seen it all before in his career. Cage sounded like a sociopath, and he was all business last night. Number 5, a good trios match. The last night's trios match was fantastic and showed the depth of AEW's trios ranks. Death Triangle is one of AEW's best 6-man teams, and Pac, Rey Fenix, and Penta Oscuro delivered their goods against the equally exciting team of Will Ospreay and Aussie Open. While the match had a controversial finish as Kip Sabian interfered, taking Pac out of the match, it protected Death Triangle for a rematch. Number 6, the Forbidden Door opens again. It was a good move by AEW in putting Impact Wrestling's Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin alongside Jay Lethal for Lethal's match against FTR and Wardlow. While we still feel it's a waste to put Wardlow in a trios match, at least Satnam Singh is out of this one. The Guns are an excellent team and should make this much more enjoyable than the original competitors. But that was the good. What about the bad? Is number 1, why is Killing King on Dynamite again? And while we understand AEW apparently wants to try to get Killing King over, or even just give her TV time, it seems like a waste of time if AEW is going to have a job every week. King's booking is an indictment of AEW's time management skills and its booking of the women's division. But that was the bad. What about the downright ugly as a CM Punk squash? A rumor has it that CM Punk has backstage heat on him and even threatened to walk out on Dynamite last week. Even if both rumors are true, AEW's booking of last night's title was uncalled for as it devalued the world title. First, even if Punk is a jerk backstage and making trouble for AEW, having him job out to Moxley in a glorified squash match was terrible. Second, while placing the title unification match on TV rather than pay-per-view has its pros and cons, placing it in the middle of the show that made the belt look like a prop. The way last night's match was booked suggests that many rumors of backstage problems in AEW are beginning to affect the product, which is a bad sign for the company dealing with renewed competition from the WWE. Well, the rest of Dynamite was a good episode, but there's just no way to look at the world title match as anything but a failure. But what do you guys think of Dynamite this week? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at AEW Backstage Bedlam. At top of today's news are several reports documenting more Backstage Bedlam in AEW. The rumors of dissatisfied wrestlers are bad enough, but it now looks like at least a few wrestlers have heat with each other, which is only worsening things internally, as AEW had a backstage fight and the star was suspended. One story dealing with dissension is a reported altercation between Sammy Guevara and Eddie Kingston. Fightful Select reported rumors among talent that we've heard about said that Guevara and Kingston had developed heat and it devolved into an altercation. The word backstage was that Guevara made a comment about Kingston's physique and Kingston took a swing at him. Now, a recent report from Fightful Select suggests that Sammy Guevara is difficult to work with. The report notes that Guevara didn't have people exactly angling to work with him after his feud with Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Furthermore, Guevara calling Kingston a fat piece of shit in a promo for the match at All Out, a promo which was later edited out. Kingston reportedly felt that the promo would make Sammy look bad because Kingston was going to win the match and Guevara would look bad being beaten by a fat piece of shit. The Fightful Select reports Kingston shouted at Guevara and Sammy smiled, leading to Kingston pie-facing him. PW Insider added to the story with Kingston telling the site, "You know the truth, I wouldn't lie, I was wrong for being unprofessional. This is the blind fact. He did what he did and the public can judge, but that I know for a fact I was wrong." Currently it's unknown if Eddie and Sammy's match for All Out has been cancelled. Incredibly, AEW's website has only 2 matches listed for the pay-per-view, including the now cancelled women's title defense between Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm. Next up, AEW sent a warning to WWE. It looks like our report on our website about AEW's Chris Jericho hinting that the WWE contacted him, despite the Wizard being under contract, was just the tip of the iceberg in terms of alleged contract tampering. PW Insider is reporting that AEW has contacted the WWE about reaching out to AEW talent under contract. AEW President Tony Khan spoke with the AEW locker room about several things, including the WWE's efforts to recruit AEW wrestlers. Khan also made it clear that AEW was in an industry that has been long dominated by WWE, and that he put everything into it to make things better for the talents. Khan also stated that right before the meeting took place, AEW's Mega Parik, the chief legal officer for the company, who is effectively the number 2 in the promotion's hierarchy, sent an email to WWE's Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon warning them not to tamper with his talent. While it's believed that wrestling promotions engage in contract tampering, the WWE shouldn't risk the legal headache of a lawsuit, especially with the company still dealing with the fallout from the Vince McMahon hush money scandal. While it's unknown if the WWE is engaged in contract tampering, it seems like AEW is willing to capitalize on any blunders. Next up, Bronson Reed coming back to WWE? Is Reed coming back to the WWE? Well, Figure 4 Online's Andrew Zarian discussed the possibility during an episode of We're Live Pal. I've heard one name over the last few weeks, and that's Jonah. Great G1 climax. I talked to a friend over there casually in Connecticut. He's a name. Bronson Reed got the shit end of the stick with his positioning. He's very good, he has a size, he has this awesome entrance with the background. I don't know him personally, I don't know if anything behind the scenes that happened, anything beyond that, but I can tell you there are people very interested in him because of his talent, his performance in the G1. He's a name that people are interested in. I don't know what his deal is, but he has come up as a name that I've heard. A 33-year-old Bronson Reed is working in New Japan Pro Wrestling as Jonah and recently finished competing in Impact Wrestling last May. Reed worked in NXT from 2019 up until his release in 2021, holding the NXT North American Championship. And finally, Jon Moxley roasts Vince McMahon in WWE. And last but not least, a newly crowned Undisputed World Champion Jon Moxley was on fire following his win over CM Punk. Not only did Moxley cut a fiery promo after his title win, he addressed the fans in Cleveland after AEW ended its tapings. According to PW Insider, Mox and fellow Blackpool Combat Club member Bryan Danielson entered the ring to address the fans. Mox told the fans to tell their friends to watch AEW if they watch that Monday and Friday night crap. Later, Moxley praised Claudio Castagnoli for jumping to AEW and for ignoring some old crazy man's opinions. But there you have it, folks. I'll look at this week's edition of Dynamite as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.